There's a lot of noise with people saying since 2020 that the housing market is going to crash. But the truth is, no one knows what's going to happen next year or even the year after that. So instead of speculating or guessing what's going to happen next year, let's talk about my honest opinion regarding if I was a home buyer today. Here are the steps that I actually would take. And the very first thing I really want to mention in today's video is that this is really, really important, by the way. I am not making this video to tell everyone they should rush to buy a house, but I'm also not making this video to tell people they should avoid buying a house and wait until home prices crash. It's not my goal in either direction for this video. The reason why I'm making this video is because my viewers actually voted for it. And I want to share my honest advice from someone who's been a real estate agent since 2013 and has purchased several homes over the past decade. So I'm speaking from experience here. The advice I'm also sharing in today's video are the things that I would want to know if I was a home buyer today as well. My first advice for you guys is take your time. Do not rush it. This is not 2020 through early 2022 where you had to rush to look at a house and place an offer because you're going to be competing against many, many other buyers. The market now in many areas across the country is much softer than it was in years past. And because of this, you can really take your time. Take the time to understand your local market you're looking to buy in, but also the area as well. What is the neighborhood like? How long would your commute be? Are there a ton of houses for sale or is there a minimal amount? And if you have kids, are the schools in the neighborhood, are they highly ranked or would you potentially have to pay for private school tuition for your kids? In other words, take your time to learn about the market and the area before you make a big financial decision in buying a house. Also, before you actually look at houses, my number one advice for you guys is to speak to a loan officer to learn about your max purchase price you should be looking for. So you apply for a loan with a loan officer, they'll be able to provide you with your maximum purchase price. Let's just say you're pre-approved for $400,000. You use that in order to figure out which homes you should be searching for. Obviously, you don't look at houses that are $600,000 if you're pre-approved for $400,000 as well. Also, that loan officer can give you an estimation regarding what would your housing payment be and your approximate closing costs as well. Remember, with patience, you'll make a more informed decision rather than buying and regretting that decision later. Number two, if I was a home buyer right now, I honestly would explore new home construction because many markets, there's a lot of new houses being built or are completed, and therefore builders are offering a big amount of incentives towards home buyers. The biggest one that I'm seeing in the greater Sacramento area, of course, you guys all know I've grown up here in Sacramento and have been agent since 2013. The biggest thing I've seen from home builders right now is they're offering a hefty closing cost credit. Those can be used for things such as closing costs, builder upgrades, decreasing your interest rate, which is one of the most popular things I see. And in some instances, builders allow you to use that credit in order to decrease your purchase price. Let me give you an example. I have a client who found me through my second YouTube channel, which is Sacramento Home Goals. They found me through there, like most of my clients do, and they're looking to buy a brand new house. With the credits being offered from the home builders, my client would be looking to buy a brand new house using a 30-year fixed mortgage rate in the low to mid 5% range. And on top of that, they would be getting enough credits in order to have no closing costs in buying a brand new home. Let me repeat that. They would get a 5 to 5.5% interest rate in buying a brand new home. And on top of that, their out-of-pocket expenses, excluding their down payment, would be absolutely zero if they buy a brand new house right now. Therefore, their rate and payment would likely be a lot less compared to buying an existing house. In other words, not a brand new home. And on top of that, they get a builder's warranty as well. Compare that to buying an older home, for example. You're only going to get a 1-year warranty, a home warranty, if you pay for it or if the seller pays for it. But in California, at least, we have home warranties in place for brand new houses. So for example, there's a 10-year warranty on the foundation of the house. So if you have issues with the foundation, you can file a claim and it'll likely be covered for the 10-year warranty in buying a brand new house here in California. Additionally, buying new compared to an existing house, buying an existing house, you may have to pay for closing costs such as title, escrow fees, transfer taxes, and also other prepaids of insurance and property taxes, for example. Now, obviously, in some instances, there may be sellers willing to give you a hefty credit to buy down your rate and also decrease your out-of-pocket expenses as well, or your closing costs. But this is very common, at least in the greater Sacramento area, and especially in areas nationwide that have a lot of houses for sale. If you do have any new home developments in areas you're looking to buy though, there's some things that are very important that you actually should consider as well. So for example, in California, this is an unwritten rule. This is really, really important, guys. I actually just talked to someone yesterday who did not know this rule. If you visit the home builder, in other words, you visit the sales rep, which is the employee of the home builder. If you go to the sales rep or the builder's office without your real estate agent present, and you decide later that you want to buy a house there, you can't actually get represented by your own independent agent. You have to work directly with the builder's employee, which is our sales rep. So in other words, if you're looking to buy a brand new house, make sure you bring your real estate agent during your first visit and register. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to be represented by your agent. And of course, for any agents who are watching this video, if you're located outside of California, leave us a comment below regarding if that is common in your neck of the woods as well. And of course, the area you service as well. Something else you should be considering as well is the cost of buying a brand new house compared to an existing one though, because existing houses tend to have a lot lower property tax rate compared to new homes. In Sacramento, for example, an existing house, which is not a brand new home, in general, if it's an older community, you're looking at an average property tax rate of 1.25%. That rate is multiplied by your purchase price, and that's your annual property taxes that you would have to pay. But for new houses, that could be 1.6 to 1.8%. So you have to pay a higher property tax rate in buying a brand new home. However, of course, you have less deferred maintenance in buying a brand new home compared to an older one. So for example, for my house, for example, I have to replace the roof probably pretty soon. And the cost of replacing my roof is going to be about $50,000. And buying a brand new house, at least in Sacramento here, you get a tiled roof that's going to last for decades, not years. And by the way, I made a video about 3 months ago regarding all the things you should know about buying a brand new house. I'll link that video below as well. My third bit of advice for you is look past the doom and gloom. It is all over the media, all over YouTube. So for example, a lot of the media, especially social media on YouTube, the videos that get the most views is the negativity, the negative headlines, the doom and gloom, the housing crash videos. Those get the most views and therefore the most ad revenue. I have been earning ad revenue on YouTube ever since April of 2020. And the way you get paid with ad revenue on YouTube is by the view. If you get a lot of views, you get you get more ad revenue. So therefore, watch out for these videos that are just making headlines in order to get views and therefore ad revenue from YouTube. And therefore, perhaps this is one of the reasons why a lot of YouTube channels are focused on how the housing market is going to crash. And they've been doing that ever since 2020. This reminds me, if you guys want me to make a separate video regarding my honest take regarding how much housing crash bros are making on YouTube, then please leave me a comment below. I made a poll several months ago regarding that. And I just want to know if that's something you guys want to learn about, because I actually earn YouTube ad revenue myself and I make real estate videos. So I have a very unique insight regarding how much these guys are actually making by making crash videos. So instead of focusing on all the negativity out there on social media, my advice for you guys as well is that to consider focusing on what matters most to you and your family. Is it your lifestyle, your stability of owning your own home? Is it the quality of life you're looking for? Maybe the location? Focus on what's best for you and your family. The market will ebb and flow at all times, right? If you have long-term time horizons though, you don't have to be distracted by these short-term fluctuations. That leads me to my next bit of advice for you is to have long-term time horizons. Nobody knows what's going to happen to the housing market next year or the year after that. How many people are going to know about home prices, mortgage rates? How many people will decide to list their homes for sale? What's going to happen with our economy? No one knows. If you plan to own your home for at least 7+ years, these short-term fluctuations in the grand scheme of things will not matter. So therefore, treat your home like a retirement plan in which you do not plan to sell it for at least 7 to 10+ years. And of course, you can build up your equity by fixing it up, enjoy your house, and don't plan to sell it for quite some time. Treat your home like a long-term investment, such as a retirement plan, in which you do not plan to sell those funds for a long period of time. That leads me to location. You can remodel your house, obviously, but you cannot move your house into a different neighborhood. Therefore, prioritize what is important to you and your family. Even if you don't have kids, you may want to consider school rankings because school rankings may help resale value. How long will your commute be? Are there amenities close by, such as shops and restaurants? And is there any future development plans nearby that may impact your home value as well? Next is do not overstretch your budget. Make sure you pick a housing payment that you are 100% comfortable with and not stretching your budget in order to just buy a house. Also, leave room for expenses. Like I mentioned, my roof, $50,000. That's a huge expense. So make sure if you're buying a house, have an emergency fund as well to pay for everyday expenses for about 3 to 6 months. Because if you lose your job or lose your ability to have an income, at least you have a buffer for money saved up to pay for your monthly expenses. Having said that, just because the lender says you qualify for $1 million, for example, does not mean you have to buy a house for $1 million. Look at the housing payment and figure out if that's a payment you are absolutely confident in paying for in the long term. Bottom line, if I was buying a house today, I would take a step back and formulate a long-term strategy based on my goals. Be patient and find an area you could see enjoying living there for years and perhaps explore new home construction. However, you may want to reconsider buying a house if you do not have a stable job or emergency fund, or if you have short-term time horizons in which you have to sell a house in a few years. If you are looking to buy a house anywhere across the United States, then please check out my website, which is realestateteamfinder.com. I'll link you up with a great real estate agent. With that said, I appreciate you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe. Have an amazing day. I appreciate you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next video.